Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a scene for the Living World of Darkness Changeling venue. This scene is taking place in the freehold, William's new freehold, Timmy Turner's old freehold at the junkyard. Estrella has been summoned there for emotional support in his time of need, as he is called to meet and agreed to meet with Laney and Rancor, and whoever else she may bring with her. Will is sitting kind of long-eyed at the office in the junkyard. He's got piles of paper in front of him. He's got a little notebook next to him with things written down on it. He is a little devoid of color. He is a little pale. The eyes that adorn his body as a tattoo, normally they will flitter and flick about, seem to have a brilliance and life to them, are just drawings. They're quality, but there's no depth, no life behind the eyes, as it were. And he looks up as Estrella enters the door, and he's disconnected. Very obviously, there's a disconnect. Lights are on, and the people may or may not be out of town. Definitely a 1,000-yard stare that kind of focuses in and out.
Astria unfortunately knows this look all too well. She had a look that was quite similar when she first got the news on Miriam. So the first thing she does is she'll walk up to Will, and with what little bit of a maternal instinct that she has, she'll put she'll attempt to put a very comforting hand on Will's shoulder and say, "Hey, I'm here now."
He looks up and just nods. And he motions for her to sit next to him.
Which she'll go ahead and do. Her ears will kind of twitch a couple of times before she looks over at him again and says, "Before they come on in, do you have anything you want to say to me? Just me? Get anything off your chest?"
He shakes his head. No. Not yet.
All right. And the hand that's on his shoulder gets kind of squeezed just a little bit, and she'll say, "We're gonna make it through this, okay?"
I'm
together.
sure. I'm sure we will. Well, they should be here soon.
Yeah.
If you guys are up for the severely convenient timed knock on the door.
Of course.
Yo. Asher will
Very,
perk up.
it's a
Oh,
very
sorry.
polite. I was just say it's a very polite knock. This is not loud or overwhelming. It's very polite.
And William's gonna look at Astria and kind of nod, kind of motion to the door. And could you get that, please?
I got you, buddy. And she'll get on up, hop her neck a couple of times, wring out her hands. She'll go and she'll put her hand on the door, and just before she twists, she takes just a couple of seconds. And then she's going to go ahead and open it. And then this party of four sees Astria wearing she's got a pretty semi-formal outfit. This was an official meeting, but these are people that she all knows very closely. If she can see Triben, she'll kind of glance a little curiously to him, but not really question it.
Yeah, he's not being stealthy. He's just right there.
All right, cool. She'll say, Baroness Laney, Squire Rowley, Magistrate Triben, Rancor.
Chief
good to have you.
Magistrate.
Chief Magistrate, I apologize. It's good to have you tonight. Would you like to come in?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
And Astria will open up the door fully for the party line, as it were, to come on in.
George will probably make sure he's the last one in because he's the tallest. And actually, like, duck his head to come in, where he'll actually give Astria a strong nod and hello and thanks.
Like she'll kind of, she doesn't really grin to him because that's kind of not appropriate at the moment, but she does. She at least acknowledges him and also, like, greets him back if he personally does so.
Lady will kind of touch Astria's shoulder as she passes by, just fleetingly. And then keep going on in.
Oh, pleadingly?
Fleetingly.
Oh, fleetingly. Okay, my bad.
Fleetingly, like quickly, yes.
Okay.
It's meant to be comforting to a point.
Yeah. Oh, Lainey would notice that her eyes are green again.
She's feeling slightly better about that, actually. But not going to say a word either way. And she's making sure that Rancor is coming in behind her. I mean, if we want to come into front, basically she just want to make sure that he comes in as well.
He comes in. When Astrea said hi to him, he just nodded. That's why I'm being quiet.
You're fine.
But
She's just making sure, because it's
entering.
important that he's here at this point. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, he is entering. He just nodded, and I was being quiet about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, you will... Okay, I'm just going to be straight up. Like, the second Rancor walks in, Asher's going to check William real quick, see how he's doing.
He is... There is a glare towards Rancor, but it's fleeting. It's one of those, if I had more energy, something may have happened, but I don't.
At least nothing happened. She'll think to herself. As,
As compared to saying out loud.
saying out loud, I'm really glad you didn't kill that dude. Nah. But as the lion kind of walks in and is fully inside, Astra will close the door behind them and say, so, can I get you guys anything? Any refreshments, food, any of that?
I'm good. Thank you. I can't speak for the others, but I'm fine.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Rancor just moves his head in a no.
Okay.
Which anybody who knows him knows that that's rare, that he says no to food.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Astra is kind of like she does look legit worried. Like not like she's not like looking like terrified, but she does look over at Rancor like almost knowingly. And also those of you that know Astria well, which I think is everyone in the room, Astria does try very hard to not let her she-ness go to her head, but it is still very hard for her to just serve people. Like in the way that she was, just as a side thing. Like she has to put a lot of effort and thought into it because she's like, oh my god.
George will make a point to move kind of strategically next to Malgrim and or not Malgrim. Why did I think of Malgrim?
Wow.
Laney, and Rancor.
Wow.
not to
Rainey.
like be in the spotlight, but just in case he needs to actually intercept quickly, then that's what he's gonna do. But he's gonna make sure it's very like cordial, like finding his place.
God, Rainy, seriously.
Sorry,
It's
leave me
okay.
alone. I'm on 3 hours of sleep.
Oh no! I know that
No
feeling.
worries.
It's
I
terrible.
won't have any, so
Won't have
continue.
no regrets. And
Trevetton declines, but when Astra asks him, he kind of looks over at Sir William and looks at Rancor and then looks at Astria and it's kind of like raises his eyebrows, kind of like, yeah, that's why I'm here.
yeah, she was kind of like she can't really express too much, but she's that look though. She's like, yeah, okay.
And yeah, I was gonna say after all this official stuff is done, she's gonna start heading over towards Sir William.
Yeah. If the squad starts making their way over, Asher will kind of break away to at least kind of make her way over to him as well. Like she's not trying to intercept Laney, but she's trying to essentially provide at least the support of her presence for William.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what Asher's doing.
Yeah, George is probably like 2 or 3 steps behind Laney.
And she will just walk up to him. Is he sitting, I assume?
Yeah. Sitting on a couch, got a coffee table filled with papers in front of him.
If there's a chair that's kind of catty-cornered to him where he's sitting,
There is.
take that. Okay, she'll take that. And just kind of look at him and say, I am so sorry. I don't even know what to say.
He's gonna turn his head. And he's got that. Again, that 1,000-yard stare that flickers in and out. And kinda focuses on Laney. You don't know what to say?
I didn't know him as well as you. Where I'm coming from, all I can say is that I'm so sorry for your loss.
You told me you had something important to tell me.
There's more to it, but I didn't want to bring everything up all at once. Do you prefer more direct?
Yeah. Not much for niceties.
Okay. And she'll sit up a little bit. Gesture to Rancor. I'm in the process of teaching my ward everything he can possibly ever want to know about the Ashid. And as part of that, if there's anything that you need him to do, it can never make up for what you've lost. But if there's anything that you need, or that you want, of him, preferably a learning experience, because he is unsane, then I'm here to offer his services, shall we say. He is well aware of what I'm doing.
I want my little brother back.
I don't think he's capable of that.
And he just sits there, quiet. You had things of the utmost importance to talk about?
I thought that Timothy and how that situation went down would be important to you. If I'm incorrect about that, then I apologize, and I will leave your presence.
Tell me. No, not you. Looks over at Rancor. You. Tell me how he died.
And Lainey looks at him and nods.
He died while planting measuring devices on the island where the ice swarm was.
Keep going.
He died fighting the ice swarm, more than likely.
More than likely. What?
The ice swarm covered a lot of distance within seconds.
I don't understand. Were you there?
I was at the boat covering our exit so that I could harpoon him back when he was when he'd return.
So you drove him on a boat to the island. And to the island. And you let him get off the boat to where a known where the ice worm lives. And let him go there onto the island by himself.
After casting the hidden form on him, yes,
And you stayed on the boat.
yes, that was the plan that both myself and Timothy agreed to.
So you just let him go off to die. You dropped him off at a place known for one of the most dangerous beings in the dreaming, and the two of you thought it was a fucking brilliant idea to go there, and you were just gonna sit on the goddamned boat.
I argued with him not to go. I argued with him that he shouldn't risk his life for this thing. He kept insisting it was the most important thing that he needs to do. I tried arguing with him, he didn't listen.
But you still drove him there.
I wasn't going to let him go without hidden form.
So you were just gonna cast a cantrip on him, drive him up there, kick him off the goddamn boat, and say, hey, congratulations, if you make it back alive, you did it. If not, fuck off?
No.
Because that sure as shit what it sounded like to me.
He jumped of his own volition. He didn't even wait for me to actually make a bridge.
Complacent. Entirely complacent. You... How, in what sense of anything did you think that this was an okay idea and that one cantrip is going to save somebody from the most dangerous chimerical thing in existence? You drove him there. Did you at least get his body back?
No.
Left him to die. Brought him there and left him to die. He shakes his head. Now I can't even bury my little brother. I hope this haunts you for the rest of your existence.
It does.
And I hope that is a very long time.
I'll make sure of it.
Just huffs and shakes his head. And out of the back of the freehold comes one of those. You saw the first Star Wars movies, the well, pod racer hubcap box comes out with a glass of water and a little cup of pills, and he goes, walks up to William and just, all right, asshole, time for medicine. Grabs the little cup and slams the water. And the robot looks around and goes, "What? It's vitamins. He hasn't been eating." Occasionally clamor, because, well, somebody's got to get it into his system before he fades. Fucking rank amateurs. And goes back out towards the back of the freehold.
Lainey's just sitting there very quietly, still keeping an eye on Rancor. Not going to say a damn thing to the robot. Or the pod racer thing, or whatever it is.
Japan's just leaning against the wall smoking.
I'm just going to note this. Asher spends a willpower to avoid a curiosity flaw to check out the pod racing robot because it's not that time.
Honestly, if it came down to that, and if it's a curiosity flaw thing, Lainey will spend the willpower on this one.
Like, I mean, no Esting triggered it. I just wanted to hold myself accountable.
Dude. He looks Rancor. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
And he's going to look over at Lanny.
Lainey will meet his eyes.
He's not saying anything. Like, it's almost like he's looking for Laney to say something.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. My computer does weird things sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, she will, she'll meet his eyes, although her gaze is a little bit kind of lower, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like us to leave now?
Do you have any extra information?
On Timmy's death? Or on the ice worm?
On Timmy's death.
I wasn't there. I didn't know what was happening. The only other thing I know is that Sir Kagoma was the one who confirmed it for us.
How?
He is soothsay. You soothsay. I don't have much more detail than that because I myself don't know that art. But he happened to be there when Rancor showed up at my home.
He nods. Okay. Yeah. And he kind of goes and looks back at the table. He just kind of stares off into space.
Trebet will pipe up. An official investigation has been launched.
William will just nod.
I will make sure that all of the facts are heard, and if any wrongdoing was done, then it will be properly punished according to our laws.
I trust that everything will be taken care of according to laws.
Did Timmy tell you anything or give you any reason to think that he might try something like this?
No. None.
It seems to be the general idea is he didn't tell anyone he was trying it.
No idea.
Do you have any idea why he might think he was capable? I mean, I know personally that his skills in stealth were, well, not even basic. He was pretty bad. I was in the process of training him.
He was always overconfident. He thought he could take on the world, and that oath with Sam Phoenix to make him want to act like a superhero didn't ever fucking help. Just made oath made him go looking for trouble in places he couldn't survive. I imagine that's why he did it.
It was noble what he was trying to accomplish. Foolish.
Stupid.
I agree.
Gonna have to find something to bury since I don't have a body.
We'll get his body back.
If there's even one left.
Even if we have to carve open the ice worm to get him out.
Just shakes his head. I just don't know why more people aren't doing more about this.
Lainey looks at Astrid on that point.
Astria looks like she has gotten no sleep at all.
Well, yes, but if you heard the comment before that...
Yeah, she heard it. The man's little brother just died. She ain't gonna be trying to throw no salt at people right now. That's
No,
uncouth.
she wasn't trying to do that. She was trying to get you to... Okay, fine. So she looks up. If Astrid looks like she's not going to say anything, she'll just... Lainey will say then... Astrid has been trying to come up with a better plan, obviously, because what people have been doing so far has been pretty bad.
He nods.
I'm working on my part of it, but Tribetan's right. It would be better if we knew the first part of the story of the ice worm before I write the next part. And I have no idea how to find it, because Rancor and I spent weeks finding out the information we did, let alone finding out how it was first created. Unless we made that trip to White Sands. See if they can give us more of the origins of it. Some of their scholars, maybe.
You all notice that, like, halfway through Laney's talking, he's zoned out again.
Lainey's gonna take a hint and she'll stand. Glance at the others who came in with her and just be like, I think maybe we should leave Sir William to be for now. This is not the right time or place to have this discussion.
If you'd like to have it, though, you know my number.
It can be had. We just need to figure out how to pull it off. This ice worm needs to die.
It'll happen.
And she will look at George and Rancor. Kind of gesture for them to come with her. She'll glance to try Benton, but he's obviously not part of her group. Although he came with them, so it's up to him what he does.
He doesn't leave just yet.
Yeah, Rancor follows Lainey's gesture quietly.
George will follow behind Laney and Rancor after giving those in the room a small bow.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lainey's will actually drop into a respectful, just a little bit of a respectful sort of curtsy, because she is wearing her dress, to Sir William, whether he notices it or not, and then she will leave.
Yeah, Rancor just nods his head, doesn't say anything, leaves.
Will kind of looks up as they all left, as the group leaves. Looks over at Tribenton. Do you know anything else?
I can't speak too much about an open investigation.
Right.
But what I do know is that, from what I'm hearing, it looks like Timothy was the mastermind of this idea. And through his words, convinced an unsane changeling that he was capable of doing it. If the matter goes to court, I don't know what'll happen.
He nods.
Things will come to light as trials tend to do that, and that may or may not be a good thing. It's my understanding that Rancor's upbringing was not the best. Now, under Laney, he has a chance.
Still left a man to die.
I agree, but what did you expect him to do? If we went back, we would have 2 dead changelings.
Stopped him. Or let him go by himself. Now I have too many things could have happened, and his inaction. The actions he took and then the actions he didn't. Too many things could have changed.
Of course they can, but
And so, you never know what it could have been. We just know, or we think we know, what it was.
I think it's best for everyone if we keep this out of trial. If it goes to trial, all manner of things are going to come up. They're going to point out Timmy's past. They're going to probably make him sound like he was an idiot. We know that Timmy had his issues,
Probably.
But if it gets too bad, we both know House at Luna's going to distance themselves from him.
Mm-hmm. Just shakes his head. I need to get back to sleep.
I understand. And Durant kind of just tips his top hat and leaves.
As he leaves, she'll finally kind of relax a little bit and turn to Will. Hey, do you want me to stay here?
I think I'll be alright.
I think. Well, I can't impose anything on you, but it helps to have another voice in the room.
Yeah, it does. I still have more things to go over.
Look, I know that knockers tend to be very secretive about their business, but if it's anything I can handle, I can do that. You deserve time to grieve, uninterrupted.
Kind of nods. Kind of points to the chair that Lainey was sitting in. And just says, "Start. Help me go through that stack of papers over there."
Can do.
And that's where we will call the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a great night.
Salt!